Hey there, horror aficionados and pizza lovers. Welcome back to your channel name, where we bring you the most spine-chilling and terrifying tales from the unlikeliest of places. Today, we're diving into the world of Papa John's Pizza with 5 true horror stories that are equal parts scary and hilarious. So, grab your favorite slice, dim the lights, and let's get into it. Our first story takes us to a small-town Papa John's, where the staff encountered something truly terrifying, a haunted dough mixer. Yes, you heard that right. This story is brought to us by Mike, a former employee who swears this is all true. Mike loved working at Papa John's. The smell of fresh dough, the camaraderie with his co-workers, and the thrill of creating the perfect pizza. But one night, things took a turn for the spooky. Mike, voiceover. It was a typical Friday night. We were slammed with orders, and I was in charge of mixing the dough. Everything was going smoothly until I heard a strange noise coming from the mixer. He checked the machine, but it seemed fine. However, the noise continued, growing louder and more distinct. It sounded like whispering. He called over his coworker Sarah to listen. Sarah, nervous. Maybe it's just the machine acting up. Mike, voiceover. We decided to ignore it, thinking it was just a fluke. But then, the mixer started shaking violently. Flour and dough flew everywhere, and we both jumped back in shock. The lights flickered, and the whispering grew louder, now clearly saying, "Leave this place." Sarah screamed, and they both ran out of the kitchen, leaving the mixer to its ghostly tantrum. They later found out that the store was built on the site of an old bakery that had burned down decades ago. Rumor had it that the baker, who perished in the fire, never left. Mike and Sarah refused to work late shifts after that, and the haunted dough mixer became a legend among the staff. Our second story comes from Jeff, a delivery driver who had the most unsettling experience of his life while making a midnight delivery. Jeff had been working the late shift for a few months and had seen his fair share of odd customers. But nothing compared to the night he delivered to a house at the edge of town. Jeff, voiceover. It was just after midnight when I got the call. The address was an old run-down house I'd never noticed before. But hey, a job's a job, right? He arrived at the house and felt an immediate sense of dread. The place was dark with no lights on and looked abandoned. He knocked on the door, and after a few moments it creaked open on its own. Jeff, voiceover. I called out, but no one answered. Just as I was about to leave, a voice from inside said, "Come in, I'm in the back room." Against his better judgment, Jeff stepped inside. The air was cold, and he could barely see a thing. He followed the voice to the back room, but when he got there, it was empty. Suddenly the door slammed shut behind him and the room was plunged into darkness. Jeff, voiceover. I dropped the pizza and ran out of there as fast as I could. When I got back to the store, I told my manager what happened. He looked at the address and went pale. He said that house had been abandoned for years. Jeff never went back to that part of town, and to this day, he wonders who or what he delivered that pizza to